So, you think Tony Romo will lead us to multiple championships. So the first thing, I'm not going to disagree with you, because I know everyone here believes that, and I'm here to talk about that and talk about scenarios for that. I'm not here to argue that point or any of that thing, because you might be completely right. But the thing that we have to do, we have to rebuild this team around Tony Romo, and there's a lot of parts we got to put together. First, of course, this video isn't about do we need a new coaching staff or should we fire Wade Phillips. That's sad. That needs to happen, whether it's the middle of the season or end of the season, doesn't matter to me, because it's the inevitable. So we got that. We also have an offensive line we have to almost completely retool. We have to completely give it a defensive overhaul, especially to the specifications of the new coach and the new defensive coordinator. Because you need players to fit their system they were bringing, because we're taking away Wade's, the Phillips 3-4. And we need depth at every position for a lot of reasons. And there's a running back situation that nobody's talking about that I'm going to bring up. All right, new coach. Everybody's talking Gruden, everybody's talking Billick, everybody's talking Cowher. They're retreads. I've already told you what I think about Gruden. A lot of you like him. I wouldn't talk against him because I kind of like the guy, but he's been a puppet before, and he's always had real talented teams. So if you think this team is really still talented, then Gruden's your guy. He can take you and move on to the next level. Billick, I think Billick and Cowher, I think both of them had great coordinators working for them. I know Billick had them with Marvin Lewis, and then with Rex Ryan over there in Baltimore. I think Rex was under him. And Cowher with Dick LeBeau, who's just brilliant. My guy Rob Ryan, who's with the Browns, who's a good guy. And we also have Leslie Frazier, who I'm kind of backed off from, because Minnesota's defense, the defense really lost that game for them against the Patriots, because they couldn't stop them. They didn't even give Tavares another chance. They couldn't stop the Patriots from running down the clock and scoring a touchdown at the end of the game. And all that went on Leslie Frazier. None of that went on the head coach and stuff like that. So we'll have to implement a new coach and a new system. We know what that entails. New plays, new this, new that on offense and defensive side of the ball. Offensive line, first thing. We have to redo this thing. Garrod probably is out of there. We're probably going to have to replace him. Colombo, I think Colombo's done also. Leonard Davis, he's performing worse out of everyone, so he has to go. Cozier, I think Cozier probably will have to go because of his health. He is working harder than those other three above him. However, he's just not as physically talented as those other guys. So those front four will probably not be here next year. The only one that I see that probably can stay around is Doug Free. I don't know if he's a starter. I don't know if he's a left tackle. He may be a right tackle. I don't know where it fits in, whether he's depth or whatever. But all I know is we have to get a new offensive line for Tony Romo. And they have to be talented. We can't just go around and get people out of the league, because these guys will probably be on the free agent list somewhere. You know what I'm saying? When you're looking for free agents, Garrod will be on there, Davis will be on there, Cozier will be on there. You know what I'm saying? They'll be on there somewhere. So we can't get anybody who rates out under these guys. So somehow we got to figure out how to get some top-level linemen from the draft and from free agency and put together offensive line. Now, to me, that is hard to do. You can ask the Washington Redskins fans. It's hard to just buy a line and piece a line together. To me, it takes a line like 2 or 3 years to gel. And you saw firsthand what the New York Giants line did. They have been playing together, and they knew exactly who to take. They could communicate, just by grunts or whatever they do. So the time frame, I think, to complete an offensive line overhaul, to build a strong offensive line, to me, takes 2 to 3 years. It can't happen overnight. It can't happen in 1 year. 2 years, maybe, if you have a brilliant person making the calls, which again goes back to Gruden, brilliant, because we have to also retool the scouting department. If somebody wrote in my last video, we've had a ton of draft picks that hadn't ever materialized. And if you look through that, you might find some shocking stats. But the time frame of 2 or 3 years, Tony Romo will be 31 next time he takes a snap for the Dallas Cowboys in a regular season game. He'll be 31 years old. Now he's going to be behind a very new offensive line with a fractured clavicle. That if he gets another hit, it could break and we'll be out of it. And in 2 or 3 years, he'll be what, 33, 34 years old. Troy Aikman retired at 34. We lost Troy Aikman at 34. Thinking Romo's going to make it that far is, I mean, I see where you can say it, but I see also where I'm thinking a guy that's getting that much punishment that's behind nothing of an offensive line. A guy that is getting that much punishment is going to break either physically or mentally. I mean, you just can't take blows from those type men over and over and over and expect to play the game of football. Troy Aikman, believe it or not, after all the Super Bowl victories and MVPs and this and that, Troy Aikman was gun-shy at the end of the game at the beginning of his career because he kept getting knocked out. You know, I mean, I don't know how it feels. I can imagine having Mario Williams coming at me. It's crazy. All right. With that, now we have to do that in 2 or 3 years, which is going to call for a lot of draft picks, a lot of free agency, a lot of stuff to overhaul the offensive line. At the same time, to give Romo a chance with this team, we have to do almost a complete defensive overhaul. The only people I see on defense that could be used in another system, I don't know if they're quitters though. And we got to find out who's the quitters, because there's quitters on the team from the 44-6 season. I mean, when the Eagles beat us 44-6, there's quitters on this team, and I don't know if any of those guys are the quitters, but I know there's quitters on the team. They're talking about it right now in the league. But we have D. Ware, who definitely can work in anybody's system. Spencer, I kind of think we're using Spencer wrong. Spencer's a beast, physical beast. I mean, I can see Spencer playing in a Pittsburgh Steelers defense just because of his physical presence and the way he plays the ball. Rat is a monster. He doesn't need to be a defensive tackle. Of course, I've been banging that against the wall forever. But a defensive end or something like that, I definitely want Rat to stay. He was a beast at defensive end before we moved him in. Jenkins, I think Jenkins has incredible ball skills. You saw it the other day when he was knocking balls away. He just needs to be taught to position. And Dave Campo, what was in your mind to bring Dave Campo back? Didn't he give you enough bad memories? And then T-New, I think T-New is solid. He can be a nickel corner or maybe second quarter if he elevates his game, but he's not been playing bad this year at all. So, along with the offense, we have to do a complete defensive overhaul. These people are useless to the new coach. Skandrick, Igor, Spears, maybe. I don't know. I kind of like Spears. I like what Spears says and brings to the table, but we've been waiting for Spears to break out for a long, long time, and he really hadn't done it. Brookins useless to the next coach. And Sensabaugh, maybe, again, another player that I really, really, really like, but will he fit in a new coach's system? I doubt it. The thing that we need to address and draft for free agency with the defense is defensive tackle. We need a defensive tackle. We need monsters. We need 2 of them because Rat, we're just going to have to move Rat out to defensive end. We're going to have to. But we need a defensive tackle, and we need another defensive end to take up for Olshansky. We can't have that attitude on the team. Olshansky's got to go. Olshansky should have been cut already. We can't have that type of stuff. And if you want to know why this team is losing, it's stuff like that. The guy who continues to dance on the field and do all kind of crazy stuff instead of worrying about stopping the other team. Both safeties, you know, Sensabaugh might can say, might not, but we do need a strong safety. We do need a free safety. We don't have any. We need a nickel corner. Hopefully maybe T-New or somebody else could be a nickel corner. And we need an inside linebacker for Brady. I'm ready for Lee to take over for Brooking, but Brady, we saw what type of liability he is on the pass defense. So there's going to have to be an inside linebacker for Brady that can cover. Now this is going to have to happen for Tony Romo to have a chance. Because our defense is not the defense of below. Our defense is far from dominating right now. And they said it was the most simple defense they've faced in the NFL. David Garrard said it. Not Peyton Manning, David Garrard. So all of this has got to be changed. And then depth. We also need to get somehow get some more depth on this football team, especially in the offensive line, because the starters are bad, the backups are even worse, you know? So, in the defensive line, the backups are not very good also. So, I mean, except Stephen Bowen. I like Stephen Bowen, but he's still depth. And we need the people on depth to be special teams contributors. We need to up our special teams game somehow, and this depth is going to have to do it in order for us to be a Super Bowl caliber team. Do you see what I'm getting at? In order for Tony Romo to be in a position to win a Super Bowl, we've got to address all these things in like 2 years. And then the last one, I just put in there, but just keep an eye on the running back situation, because Steven Jackson still got yards behind the Rams O-line, and we're getting nothing. And Felix, I've been okay with Felix all the time, but when he had that play, I think it was later in the game, when Felix caught the pass, he had one guy isolated, and the guy stood like that in front of Felix, and then he just walked and pushed Felix out of bounds. Felix didn't make that first man miss. It didn't do anything, and that's the type of thing, because Felix and Witten are some people that I never would think would give up on plays and stuff like that, and you're seeing it. Ball's hitting Witten on the head because he's not paying attention to what's going on. Those players don't do that. What's going on with them is going against their nature. Therefore, some kind of bad energy is going all through that organization. So just think about all this stuff has to happen for us to give Romo a chance. And now, if we can trade him, we can get some picks for him or something and move forward. I'm just saying.